YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live, or tonight's live, it's going to be basically, guys, just a recap. Any Q&As you might have for tonight's game, any Q&As that you might have for anything, guys, going forward. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. Okay. What's going on, Big Will? What's up, bro? First one in the building. Ricky Bobby, second one in the building. Tail Dog, what's going on? Draw. Nifty. Big Will. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He says you called it, bro. Caleb Williams. I won't say I called it, but I'll take it, bro. Appreciate you. It's just the process. The process got me there. Not, oh my God, I see Caleb Williams. He's about to do something special. It was the process, right? I've been talking about Caleb Williams, that he's going to be good later as the quadrants move on. So he's only going to be getting better and better. Guys, when he's finally there, like week 9 and 10, he could be a league-winning quarterback. He could compete with Lamar and Josh Allen. He can keep them from where when you play Lamar, Josh Allen, when they boom, he going to boom with them. So you got 50 from Lamar, he got 44. Let's keep it going, right? That's what Caleb Williams can do. So that's why I told y'all to play Caleb Williams. I didn't know he was going to show out. He could have had another 15, 20-point game. I still would have said the same thing. I just don't get off the things that I'm saying off a good week or a bad week. To me, I'm looking at it more as a macroeconomics, right? So it's the long game. It's not nothing in a vacuum in a 4-week period. Now, after 4 weeks, I'll make a decision on a player quick. I need 4 weeks, though, before I make a decision on you. I need the data. I need to see what you're going to do out of 4. Out of 4 bets, right? It's just like baseball. At 4 bets, what you going to do? Are you going to go 4 for 4? You're going to go 3 for 4 or 2 for 4? If you go 1 for 4, I'm okay with maybe I bench you. Maybe I see something in that last game that tells me, just like it could tell y'all something different. You know what? I want to hold on to him. That was an interesting game in week 2 where he got 40 points. Let me hold on to him. Like Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry got what? 2 out of good 4 weeks. 2 out of 4 weeks, he got 2 good weeks. So maybe now you might be ready to hold on to Hunter Henry, right? We got a new member in the building. Actually, he's not a new member. He just registered. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, bruh. I see you, Thomas. I see you, Sports Dog. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start breaking down. Actually, I'm gonna talk about. I did a video earlier, but I'm gonna re-talk about these guys real quick, and then I'm gonna get on to some player breaks down, and then as the questions come in, I get to the questions. So Geno Smith was the quarterback that I talked about earlier in my waiver wire video. Now listen, I'm gonna go in more detail for a longer video or a longer live tomorrow, where I will hit all the guys. Like, it might be three or 4 quarterbacks that you may consider, and I'll break them each down. Why do I want them, or why they are ranked as the number 3 waiver wire ad of the week, right? So Geno Smith is the guy that he's playing against Chicago. That was the main reason why I got it on there. We know that Geno can have boom games, but he's playing against Chicago, who their defense hasn't played well. So I'm going to continue with that trend and think that, hey, they're going to give up another 21 points. Right? I'm not saying they're going to give up 40 burger, but they can give up 21 points. 21 points to me is the main thing when it comes to DST. Can you score 3 touchdowns? If you can score 3 touchdowns, you can have a good outing on the offensive side of the ball. So I love Geno Smith going against the Chicago Bears. Going on to my next guy that I told y'all to pick up, it's going to be Ollie Gordon. And Ollie Gordon gave the Miami Dolphins a nice bump, right? Because, and I think that's what Tyreek was saying to Mike McDaniels, where his back was against the wall and he came out fighting. He called a good game, and I agree, he did call a good game against Buffalo. And what that is, you're going to have to use Ollie Gordon more. That way, when A-Chain does get his touch, he's very fresh and he's ready to boom and make a big play. Now, he can still do that with the way the game script is going without that much Ollie Gordon opportunities, but I think you need to give Ollie Gordon the ball at least 10 times a game and then let A-Chain come and move around that. So Ollie Gordon, guys, is a guy that I'm picking up, and he's probably it's going to be between him and Trey Benson. I didn't mention Trey Benson because I left Trey Benson for tomorrow, but Ollie Gordon is the guy that I like. I actually like him. I'm not saying over Trey, but Trey is not going to get 100% of the touches. DeMarcado is going to come in and get touches. Maybe another guy might come in and get touches. But Trey, I think, should get the goal line touches, and that's all we worried about, right? But he's not as good as James Conner. James Conner is one of the most efficient runners that in the last 3 to 4 years in Arizona. And guess what, guys? If you had James Conner, it's okay. You got 3 weeks out of him as a top 24 RB. With touchdown upside. I think he had a touchdown in each one of his games. So you move on. We didn't draft him in the first, or second, or third. We got James Conner in the 6th round this year. That's okay. It's a journey. You got to use different tools to get to where you're going. And James Conner was a tool for us to use to get to this fantasy football championship. So you should not be disappointed in any player that you lose. Then when you lose your first round talent, guys, it's going to hurt. You're going to hit. It's going to hit your stomach. So I'm not telling you to be not a non-human, but I'm telling you to weather the storm, just like in real life. If your car knocks off, are you going to quit your job? No, you're going to do what you got to do. If you got to call out, you call out. You do whatever, and you keep moving forward. Maybe you wanted to save that time for a vacation. It's okay. Keep moving. Something else might come up. You might be able to get that time back. You never know. And it's the same thing when it comes to fantasy. If a player go down, it's okay. You got other players coming in to help you through that. But yes, Ollie Gordon, guys, I really like Ollie Gordon. He's going against the New York Jets, and that New York Jets defense is not the same defense that has been in the past. All right, moving on to my wide receiver pickup that I talked about earlier. It's going to be Luther Burden. Luther Burden 3, and it's because Caleb Williams is evolving. He's like a Pokemon. He's coming out of his shell. He's went to another mode, and so the players that surrounding him going to play better. Rome Odunze is going to play better. Rome Odunze, guys, is a top 5 wide receiver going forward in fantasy football. I said what I said. Rome Odunze is a top 5 wide receiver going forward in fantasy football. So Luther Burden, to me, is another deep threat. He's going to get targets. The odd man out, not the least talented guy, but the odd man out is going to be DJ Moore. I don't dislike DJ Moore. They just don't need him for this team. And as far as DJ to be happy. So Luther Burden, guys, is the guy that I'm picking up. Next is going to be Chigo Okonkwo, the tight end. He's going against Houston this coming up week. And look, that's just a dart throw. Tight ends are disgusting. Hopefully Hunter Henry, Isaiah Likely, David Njoku, some of these guys are out there. But if you're in a deep league with tight end premium or 2 tight end starting leagues, Chigo Okonkwo is a guy that you can pick up and stream, or just pick them up and stash them for whatever you need. But, it should be better tight ends out there. But I had to mention somebody, not no easy guy like Hunter Henry. And last but not least, the defense that I like this week that you can stream or pick up and have on your team is going to be Detroit. Yes, Detroit. The team defense that you can play is going to be Detroit, and they're going against Cleveland, and Cleveland hasn't put up a lot of points. So I'm expecting 2 touchdowns from Cleveland, and that helps Detroit be a really top-end defense this coming up week. So I like Detroit to be picked up or streamed or whatever you need to do in order to win your week. All right, the glare is kind of okay. I can see it now. I couldn't see how many people was in here. Let's get the likes up, fellas. We got 30 people in here. We only got 14 likes. I'm gonna get to all the questions. I see you, Siobhan. I see you, MVM. I see you, Mr. Anderson. I see you, Joy. Let's see. All right. So let me break a couple players down. I'm gonna let the chat get a little bit bigger. So the first player I want to talk about, and this is just a reflection, a player recap, is Jamar Chase. We all know how to maneuver when it comes to Jamar Chase, and that's how I want y'all to have this mindset with all your players. Are you starting, and you can answer these questions in the chat, are you starting Jamar Chase this coming up week? If you starting Jamar Chase, then I don't know why you're struggling with any other decisions. especially in the first, second, and third, and even fourth round. Now after that, I understand it could get it. You can play anybody. It doesn't matter. But your first 3 picks, these guys got to be put in automatically. If you pick bad, you pick bad. That's what I want to tell you here. Ain't nobody else saving your tail, right? Pause. If you sit around and pick these bad players, same thing with me. It's nothing you really can do. You got to weather the storm, and ain't nobody taking no chopped liver to give up no T-bone steak, right? So Jamar Chase, guys, he wasn't my number 1 overall pick. I only probably took him in a couple leagues, like a best ball. I said take Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs. That was the best pick, as we see now, to take a running back at that level. But Jamar Chase is going to be fine. He might not be the number 1 overall wide receiver, but you don't need him to be the number 1 overall wide receiver. You need to quit being so infatuated with number 1 overall stuff, right? It's almost like a man that's very, I can't think of the word. I want to say materialistic, but it's not materialistic. But if, I'm trying to think where I was going with this. But listen, guys, just play Jamar Chase. You know that. So these people gonna have bad games for 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks. I'm still gonna play my studs. It's that simple. So I want y'all to get, it's okay. Like, that's why a lot of videos I don't make, because I don't really care about a lot of stuff that happen in fantasy. It's just like clockwork to me. It's like being a judge and somebody got in trouble for speeding. Like, that's gonna happen, right? So that's the same thing. People gonna have bad games. Don't overdo it. Another guy's Chase Brown. I know y'all understand that one. Stash him. That's one of my picks. Out of my 70% hit rate, he's probably the one of the guys that's not hitting on that 70% hit rate. But guess what? I still like Chase Brown. He's still getting 100% of the carries, and that's what y'all don't talk about. When y'all come in here and you worried about Chase Brown, you don't say anything about, you don't talk about what's on the waivers. You don't talk about the situation and the opportunity that he's getting. You talk about that he didn't score. And here at Fantasy Good Sports, we don't care about the score. I really mean that, guys. Now, when we in the summer, 30 point, 40 points. We doing 30 point, 40 point guys. After that, we're not gonna play armchair Monday night quarterback. Well, this guy didn't score. I needed 5 more points. So, well, we all needed 5 more points, right? So Chase Brown, guys, don't panic. Don't panic with Chase Brown. He's going to be fine. He's getting better opportunities than 70% of any running backs out there that you can go pick up. He was doing better than Quinshawn. It changed with Quinshawn. It changed with Amari Hampton. Those are a few guys that I'm willing to start over Chase Brown at this point in time. But I'm not going to the waiver wire for no Zach Charbonnet over no Chase Brown. I'm not getting no Kyle Managai over Chase Brown. Right? I'm not getting these subpar Isaiah Pacheco type guys over no Chase Brown. Now, when they bench him and start playing Taj Brooks, then we can come back to that. And then you might have to even just put him on your bench and wait. That's what you do with a guy like Chase Brown. Things are going to change. What goes up must come down. What goes down must come up. It's the way the world works. All right, Jacory Crosskey-Merritt. Every time you start him, you're gonna have to pray. I guess he doesn't have that real consistent role that we wanted him to have. I've traded him in a couple redraft leagues, but he's gonna be fine. He's a guy. If you're in a deep league, you can't get no better running back probably than that. I like Chase Brown over Jacory Crosskey-Merritt. If you want to just do a little template right here, I like Chase Brown over Jacory Crosskey-Merritt because Chris Rodriguez is in there, Nichols is in there, Debo is in there, right? Pause. So we can't depend on Bill Nye, a science guy, to be a bell cow right now. But if you need to start a running back, you don't have anybody else to start. He is a guy who has touchdown upside, but not with very low catch ability. Not saying he can't catch, but they're not throwing him the ball. And moving on to the next guy I want to talk about is going to be Brian Thomas Jr. Yes, Brian Thomas Jr. And let me tell you about Brian Thomas Jr. You're going to have to go down with the ship. His value's too bad. You're going to have to give him away for chopped liver. Now, listen, if you think you can trick somebody in your league, then try it. Try to get Terry McLaurin for Brian Thomas Jr. Right? You got Brian Thomas Jr. Say, listen, hey, let me get Terry McLaurin. Like, it's a few moves to be made. Other than that, you just got to keep him and play him at the flex or put him on your bench. Right now, I'm going to give him one more week. It's the Joe Boo week. The 4th week. This is the 4th week of the quadrant. So let's give him his 4 weeks for this first quadrant. He deserves that as a top pick. Got a super chat from Joel himself. Thank you, bro. He says, what up, TD? I just got offered Benson and Tootin for Hubbard and Henderson. What you thinking? No, we're not giving up no Hubbard and Henderson. Now, I like Tootin, but is he better than the Henderson situation? I don't think so. Because we seen that Ramondre fumbled. We seen that Antonio Gibson fumbled. That's always going to be 3 running backs, but I think eventually Travion is a better player and is on a better offense than what Tootin is putting up. Now, even though they winning, I like Tootin, but Benson and Tootin is not full-time workbacks. Benson is a guy who's going to get 15 to 20 touches, but it's going to be in a lot of between the 20s. This offense is not scoring. All right, sorry about that. Somebody called my phone. So Herbert, guys, if he hit the touchdown, he's still the top 12 running back. He's getting the whole workload. Rico Dowdle is a nobody. I'm not worried about that touchdown that got sniped from him. That was just crazy by the offensive coordinator. Henderson started getting used at the end of the game after 2 fumbles from Ramondre. 2 fumbles. So Travion, this is a very important week for Travion practice week. If he practices well, they're going to give him a chance to win this job and get the touches. Not all touches, but majority. And guess what? Travion is so explosive, we don't need him to get 100%. So when it comes to Benson and Tootin, I'd rather have Travion Henderson, who's got more upside than Benson. And I think he has more upside than Tootin. Now, if Travis Etienne goes down, Tootin is going to be solid. But we talking about right now, Travis Etienne is still healthy. It's not a terrible trade, but I'm not giving up Hubbard and Henderson. You already got the sauce. We're not going to get off of that to go with a running back that wasn't even started in the beginning of the season. That's kind of my science to that. I don't think it's a bad trade. I just think you already got the sauce and you trying to just make a move to shake up your team. And we're not shaking up our teams. We pick good here. We pick good throughout the offseason here. And you got good players with Henderson and Hubbard. Okay. All right, let me finish this list. Okay, so Brian Thomas Jr., I told you, like, it might be a few plays. You just going to have to weather the storm and go down with the ship and put them on your bench and stash them. Hopefully things change. Sometimes we make bad picks, just like me. Chase Brown, I got him in a couple leagues. He's starting just like that for me. I ain't even thinking about it. I'm not even thinking about it. As soon as he gets benched or something, I go down. I got some people on the waivers. I mean, not on the waivers. I got some people on my bench in Dynasty. Also for waivers for redraft. And number 5 is Daniel Jones. Now, listen, I'm not getting into patting no back about no Daniel Jones, but I wanted to bring his growth into this video. And this is what makes me different. This is cutting edge content, not because Daniel Jones is playing good. Has nothing to do with Daniel Jones playing good. It has something to do with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Daniel Jones. And I'm going to chastise a lot of you intelligent sports people. The people who come here and they just want to vent, I'm not talking to you. You have the right to talk about, just like I talk about politics with my friends sometimes. I'm just venting. I don't want nobody from Washington, D.C. to come down and chastise me on it. So I'm not going to chastise you guys who just like to vent about football and talk about why this happened and that happened. But a lot of you are so up and down. I don't know what, should I just let it go or not say anything to y'all and just sit here and do videos and do lives and say, hey, man, yeah, don't do that, man. I can't do it. I have to talk to you like I care about you. I have to talk to you like I'm coaching you. I have a lot of coaching me. That's why I love to talk. That's why I break down videos. I've done that. A lot of people they used to call me Coach Good back in the day. So, this is the thing about Daniel Jones. You said that Daniel Jones sucked. And this is going to help you in Dynasty. You said that Baker Mayfield. A lot of you said Baker Mayfield sucked. A lot of you said Sam Darnold sucked. I was part of that Sam Darnold. I said it a couple times, just making fun of him. Sam Darnold. Now, I did it for content, but I knew Sam Darnold. I saw him at USC. I knew he could come into a right team and play, but at that point in time, he wasn't doing it. I was being disingenuous, so let me self-defecate on myself first. I needed to get better. But Don't get so, he's good today. Oh, I don't want him today. He's good today, but I don't want him today. And same thing, it could be like that. And you know, I do a lot of relationship metaphors. 1 minute the woman fine, the next minute she ugly. 1 minute she fine, the next minute she ugly. 1 minute you want to be with her, the next minute you don't. The 1 minute you want to be with her, the next minute you don't. That is a weak-minded male. That is a weak-minded human. Now, and I want to be fair to all my females. We know that you changed your mind. We are men. We didn't have wives. We didn't have girlfriends. It's okay for women to change their mind because that's what women do. So I'm not sitting here trying to say men is held to a different standard. Men are better. It's none of that weak shit. None of that. I'm just saying my mama can tell me she wants something from KFC, and then she can tell me she wants something for Burger King before I get to KFC. I get it. But if my best friend, my homie, we going away to go get something from food, and you keep changing, I'm gonna call you out. I'm like, what are you doing? So I want you guys and ladies too to go down with the ship. Because things change. Know that's coming. So don't drop these guys or trade these guys off of one bad week or a bad year. It happens. It happens. Watch the game. Now, I help you with the process of the talent. I can give you a great hit rate when it comes to look at this guy, he can play. Look at this guy, he can play. I can give you that. So it's up to you to draft guys according to what you like. But don't be so up and down on the guys because these guys can play. I'm not giving you nobody that can't play. I'm giving you guys that can play. I gave you Rashid Shaheed last year. I gave you I gave you Brian Thomas a little bit. You know, we all knew he could play, but I was like, listen, I'm putting my stamp on this guy. I gave you these guys. Don't be so up and down on them. And another thing I want to talk about, going with the Daniel Jones situation and the Caleb Williams situation, most of these guys, I'm trying to see how I'm trying to break this guy. Most of these guys are gonna have some bad weeks, especially when they're young and they're growing. If everybody's not gonna start off like Pat Mahomes. So when you see a guy like Caleb Williams, guys, you have to get him and you have to weather the storm. If not, you're gonna be paying a premium for him when he start. But like right now, it's a premium to get Caleb Williams. But if you was on him when he had bad games, you just end up having to be looking like you're really, really smart, right? You look like you're really, really smart, but are you really smart? No, you just you saw a guy that could play and you trusted and you stayed with it. I just want to make sure that I ain't missed no super chat. Okay. All right. So those are, I think those couple situations, hopefully they help you with making decisions going forward. I think that's big on my channel. It's not about it's not about me picking a guy and hitting. It's about the process. That's why I actually have an algorithm, and it's just Occam Razor. I'm just making it simple. I drafted a guy. Now I do a lot of work before the starts and sits. My work is easy when it comes to starts and sits. My work, big time work, is in the off season. Okay, so let me see here. Big Will said, what's up? 100. Ricky Bobby says, what up, TD? Tail Dog says, drop Jerry Jeudy. It just depends on what's on your team, bro. I don't know what you got on your team. Don't drop him just to drop him. If you need to go pick up somebody that makes sense, do it. But don't drop Jerry Jeudy just to drop him. He still is Jerry Jeudy, and he's still making $70-80 million. So don't drop this guy because he played bad for you the last couple weeks. Let's give him one more week, and then you move him to your bench. That's what we're going to do with Jerry Jeudy. We're not just going to drop Jerry Jeudy. You never know when you might need him. Like my dad said, don't be mean to your ex-girlfriends. You never know what you might need from them, right? And that is a good lesson. You don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to burn that bridge between you and Jerry Jeudy. You never know when he might start getting hot, when the quarterback situation change. Big Will said, you called it, bro. Caleb Williams hit. Yes. Guys, that whole video hit. That ain't the only one. My 70% hit rate video is killing it. It's killing it. James Cook, Chuba Hubbard, CMC, B. John Robinson. Jameson had a good week. Let's see what he does tonight. Big Will says the Bucks D hit as well. Yes, it did. Yes, sir. Sports Dog said TD 100. Yes, sir, bro. Ricky Bobby says, yo, TD, you rather trade away Jordan Mason, Chuba Hubbard, need a wide receiver, lost CD Lamb? I would rather trade Jordan Mason and keep Chuba Hubbard. Trade away Jordan Mason. I did it, and I got a first for him in Dynasty. Thomas says, what up, TD? What up, bruh? He says, I started Ayumana over Ibuka. Would have lost my matchup if Ayumana didn't score a touchdown. Right. And listen, man, the Ibuka call, I was nervous on him, but he showed that he can play through an injury. That's what that showed me. The only reason why I was ever sitting Ibuka is because of the injuries. Like, I don't want to play no guy that's a rookie that ain't practiced, that ain't practiced all week, and I have to count on him to be a top 12 wide receiver. So that's why I was sitting him and going to guys like Troy Franklin. I had Troy Franklin starting over Ibuka in a couple leagues that I could afford it, and I had Ibuka going in a couple leagues where I could not afford to sit him. So it just depends on your team. That's why I tell y'all to get consultations, because it matters. Big Will has done that. He's got a consultation, and he knows the difference of how you sit down. When I sit down with you and we go through the whole league and look at your opponents, I can give you a better take. But right now, I'm looking at your team in like, what, 30 to 45 seconds? I'm only going to give you a 30, 45 seconds breakdown. And that might not mean knowing all the knowledge. Maybe you shouldn't even be dropping a guy. Maybe you should be picking up another guy. I don't know. All I know is you said, should you pick up Jerry Jeudy or should you drop Jerry Jeudy? So Ibuka wasn't a great sit, but I set him for my process. So I want to be genuine to y'all. I try to give you vacuum questions, that way I can hold myself accountable. But a lot of times my sits be like, I'm not playing him because I'm not ready to play him. And if y'all listen to my content throughout the season, your teams will be built for that type of move. But if you just want to follow me off, or you ain't following me off summer, and you're gonna sit a T. Higgins, who you drafted #1 overall, as your #1 wide receiver, not #1 overall, but if your #1 wide receiver, no, you can't sit him. But I'm saying, oh, sit T. Higgins, get him off your team. That's not for you. That's not for you. That would destroy your team. You got to ride it out with T. Higgins or go trade him for another piece. So great job with Ayumana, the touchdown, man. I'm glad it saved your week, Thomas. Ricky Bobby says, Nico Collins a buy, or who's a better wide receiver buy candidate? Man, you're going to have to wait for that video, bruh. I'm not going to sit here and try to guess and say wrong things right now. I haven't made that video, so I don't have the content in front of me to tell you that. Let me think. Maybe I can give you one guy before we get out of here. Maybe a Roma Dunze. I like Roma Dunze. Or maybe a Tyreek Hill. But and I said a better, so I would say Roman Dunze, and I say Tyreek Hill. I think this offense is going to be a little bit better. But listen, man, I think you need to be with Nico. Nico is not sharing no targets. Even though it looks crappy, sometimes that doesn't have anything to do with it. That's good for fantasy. When you have nobody else and we're going to lose, but I'm going to get you the ball. Sometimes you want that type of wide receiver. Thomas says, Ibuka to the moon with the Mike Evans injury. I agree, but Mike Evans said it's a low grade, so he said he's going to be back. Ricky Bobby says, you really believe in Geno Smith? No, I don't. See, that's what I'm saying, Ricky Bobby. Well, this is why I'm talking so much. It's streamable. It's streamable. That's like me saying, you see me at a mall with a girl, you like, man, you about to marry her? Marry her? Bro, I'm just at the mall having a good time. I'm just trying to win this week, coming up week, bro, in case one of my quarterbacks are down. It's not about, oh, I talked about Geno. He on Geno. I'm not on him, but I'm on him. I don't turn nothing down but my collar. I'm just trying to get a win this week, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I have to preface this, guys. My process is so damn complicated, I have to over-explain, and sometimes it becomes fruit salad, and I get it, guys. That's why I'm going to keep explaining to you guys, because I know I'm not the best. I got a lot of slang. I'm from the country, so I understand it. Super Chad from Deal Devoted. Appreciate you, bruh. He said, yes, sir, TD. Need a big game from Action Jackson. Great content, bruh. Thank you, Deal. Thank you. Stacy in the building. What's going on, Stacy? Father 3 says, perfect time to shop George Pickens, in my opinion. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Make sure you get something good. I wouldn't go for Brian Thomas Jr. Ricky Bobby says, cutting edge content. Thank you, bruh. Thank you. Thank you. George says, yeah, I don't know what happened with my payment. Yeah, don't worry about it, bruh. It's all good. Listen. And I'm gonna say this, man, bro. You know I'm black. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Payment. I don't really care. Listen, I say the member stuff because I want to grow, and that's why I've give so many different tiers, bro. I'm not really big on that. I'm big on like respect, bro. You will always show them respect, so you ain't got to tell me in here about the payment. But you know I'm gonna run the process in here according to how people are paying. But I'm not big on that, guys. And as my channel grow, of course I'm gonna, you know, the money matters, but I'm never gonna sell out for the money. And I gotta hold. Listen, I'm pigeonholing myself to something. I'm never gonna sell out for the money. If I do, I will tell you. Sorry, I got another call. Joey says, TD, crazy week for fantasy. The injuries piling up. Yes, bro. Listen, another man's trash is another man's treasure. And what I mean, that could be anything. When another man's player get hurt, other people in the league are getting happy. We're not happy for the player going down, but we happy that he don't got that player anymore. So, hey, that's just how fantasy is, man. I'm not saying I look forward to it, but I build my teams for for injuries. Mr. Anderson in the building. Sport Dog said, TD, I have Jackson in the kicker loop tonight, and I need 29 to claim my second win. I'm concerned about London. Any news on how bad his quads are? No, I haven't heard about his quads. I thought he was fine. I thought London was going to be fine. And bro, you got Action Jackson. You 29 points, 29 points, 30 points, what point? It don't matter. That's why you got Lamar Jackson, and that's why you gonna win tonight. Because you drafted that type of player, man. That's why I tell y'all to go get them boom quarterbacks. Guys, I'm so proud of my channel. The stuff, the data that I'm spitting out, this shit is hitting. It's not because let me guess something. Oh, is it gonna hit? No, I know that I feel this shit. I do it for my teams. So you already know I got in all my leagues, I got quarterbacks going tonight. You know who they are. It's Lamar, and I got Josh Allen in the best ball. I got one Josh Allen. I talk about Josh Allen, Lamar, but I took Lamar every single time I could. When Josh Allen came there, sometimes I would pivot. I got to be honest. Sometimes I would pivot because I love Lamar as a player, right? And I try to put that over here, but when it comes to picking a player, I try to give y'all a fair shake. I don't want to just tell you what I'm doing personally. But yeah, Lamar's ready to go. I'm good. I feel good about it. I feel good about Jameson. I think Jameson going to eat. Okay. What's up, Jamar? What's up, bruh? Mr. Anderson says that week 3 boom video was a hit. Yes. Yes, it was. Thomas says, okay. MVM says, I get first on waivers. Please top 2. Okay. Thornton, Tucker, Turpin, Horton, Ollie, Spears. So I think you said please pick 2. Tyquan Thornton, Trey Tucker, Turpin, Horton, Ollie, Spears. I'm gonna go with. I don't think this is what I'm gonna tell you. Don't use your number 1 waiver priority on none of these guys. I said what I said. Do not use your number 1 waiver priority on none of these guys. What you do is you gotta wake up early in the morning. You're gonna have to do it, bruh. Now you don't have to do this. You can use the waiver, but I'm just giving you some sauce. You're gonna have to wake up early and get what's left over. Tyquan Thornton, Turpin, Tucker, all them is kind of. Turpin is my favorite. I like what he's doing, but he's getting a lot of kickoff return yards in my league, so I don't want to be disingenuous to your league that probably has no kickoff return or punt return for it. Horton, that was a kickoff return that made him good. Ollie is a really good pickup as a running back. Ollie, Spears are all good. I think you can wake up early in the morning and get 2 of these guys on your team. I wouldn't spend a waiver on them. I don't think none of these guys is worth a number 1 waiver priority. I will hold on to it. Kenny 49 says, Marvin Harrison Jr. was terrible as usual. He dropped the ball. That's the one I hold him accountable for. Not the drop in the red zone, the one that he was wide open and had to turn around for. But he's going to be fine. He's a great buy low right now. You can get him as your wide receiver 3, and you do not want to play when he figure out what he can do and how to get open, and Kyler Murray figure how to throw it to him when he's open. You don't want to play against this guy as a wide receiver 3 or a flex play. So right now, you can take a flex player like a Javonte Williams or another player, David Montgomery, and go get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's why he's a buy low. So I want y'all to be like storage wars. You should always be looking to what you can get out of a player. And I hate to say this, man. This video could get red flag for this. This is a joke that I'm about to say. It's almost like a pimp. When a pimp sees a woman, he's not trying to see a woman that he can marry. He's trying to see a woman where he can get out of them. And I'm just using that. I'm not a pimp, so I want to go ahead. But it's like I'm just want to use that as a metaphor. So you have to see any type of player, no matter how bad they playing. What can they do for your team? Because they can do something for your team. Because you might be able to get them for chop liver. You might be able to spend a penny and get them. Now, are we spending high trade picks and high draft capital to get guys? No, that's different. We got to break that down because we're not swapping out Jahmyr Gibbs and stuff for players. But when you go and you can give up a Trey Tucker or RJ Harvey or somebody like that, or a J.K. Dobbins type to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. when he is the #1 wide receiver on the team, I'm making that move if I can, if it makes sense. That's what I'm doing. But I know you just saying Marvin Harrison was terrible as he hasn't had the fantasy production. But I just want people to have that outlook when it comes to players. Siobhan says, lost CD. Yep. I don't have him on any leagues. I didn't draft any CD, but I'm not going to sit there and say that was a bad. You shouldn't have took CD. CD on the way to be a top 3 wide receiver when he healthy. That's easy. But I just don't. Sometimes George Pickens being there, sometimes I just stay out of stuff. Every time, and your parents told you this, some places ain't good for you to go. So everything ain't good for you, right? But that doesn't mean that it's a bad place to be. It just ain't good for you. CD Lamb is not a bad player. It just wasn't good for me. I was trying to get B. John and Jahmyr Gibbs and Derrick Henry and James Cook, and then y'all see why. Hopefully y'all can see now what I'm talking about. Why you want to sit here and chastise me about a wide receiver? And I went with the running back that I know will get the carries. They can get hurt, but I got plenty of them. I got plenty of RBs. I got 3 RBs. I didn't go no 0 RB this year. The reason why it's not that 0 RB doesn't work anymore. It was so much value on the board, like a James Cook, Jahmyr Gibbs, guys that I know gonna get goal line carries, and they young. And then you got CMC going at the end of the first round, who's been a #1 player 4 times in his career. And he's kind of young. He can catch passes. He's not the runner that he used to be, but he's still a great pass catcher, and he can still score a touchdown from the backfield. That's what it's all about. Father 3 says, yeah, Bryce Young ain't it, bruh. We doing that again, bruh. He ain't playing good. Are you sure that he ain't gonna never be a Daniel Jones? That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to say right now, Father 3. That's what I'm talking about. Now, listen, you're right. He ain't the player. He's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback or any of that. Remember, Jalen Hurts got benched. Jalen Hurts got benched in college, too, and he got benched in pros, and he was a second-round pick. He supposed to have been a journeyman guy. So things change. Bryce Young could end up being a top 5 quarterback in a quadrant later in the season. So just kind of always keep it open, but know what Lamar and Josh Allen is, and Bryce is not on that level. So if that's what you're saying, yeah. But can he finish as the #1 quarterback in any given week? Hell yeah, and he can do it multiple weeks. But see, y'all don't know how to get stuff out of people that may not be in your life forever. That's the same thing. You don't know how to get stuff out of fantasy football players that may not be on your team forever. James Conner, guys, guess what? When I win a championship this year, James Conner helped me. And I can't tell y'all that for nothing. No, he did not. No, he didn't, TD. He got hurt. Well, what did he do week 1 and 2 and 3? He still scored a touchdown for me. I won. I didn't win all my leagues by 40 points. I won some leagues by 5 points, 3 points, 7 points, 8 points. That was James Conner numbers. So sometimes you just got to be able to get something out of a player while he on your team. Bryce Young, you got a good game out of him a couple of weeks ago, we'll take it. That don't mean that we ain't going to go pick up Caleb Williams if we see him on the waivers. Kenny 49 says, Burden 3rd was written off, T. Everyone already. Good for you, TD. Yes, Burden 3 was written off, T. Everyone already. Yes, I agree. I wasn't on him. I needed to see what was going on with the team. I knew that Calvin. I knew that Caleb Williams and Ben was going to be getting better throughout the season, but what was going to come with it? And once I saw Caleb play about 2 weeks ago, I said, oh, Roman Dunze, he coming with him. Y'all go buy. I've been telling y'all for 2 weeks to go buy Roman Dunze. You could have did it 2 weeks ago. You could have got it easy, just like that. Just like that. Caleb Williams, you could have got him just like that. But Burden now, he's the guy that you need to go pick him up right now. There you go, Joey. I agree. Bryce going to be solid. That's all we can say. He might not be good for this year. He going to be solid. Daniel Jones is going to be solid. Like, Daniel Jones is solid. And if any of you, and I'm just, we joking here, right? It's all love. If any of you try to say, well, TD, Daniel Jones is way better than Bryce, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to mute you. I'm like, come on now. You're going to say Daniel, come on now. You know what Daniel Jones was a couple years ago? He was the garbage. He was Baker way better than him. Daniel Jones, he completely sucked. Why is he in the NFL? Now you like, TD, should I pick up Daniel Jones? So you're going to be asking me in 2 years, should you be picking up Bryce? And I'm going to say, yeah, bro. He's got better. He's on a different he's with a different offensive coordinator. He's playing better. It's cliche, right? Thomas says start Ollie Gordon. All right, let me make sure that I ain't got no super chat. Okay. What's up, Tron? I see you, Tron. All right, Thomas says start Ollie Gordon, Bill, or Henderson next week. You think it's Henny time since Stevenson fumbled twice and Gibson fumbled once? Yes, but it depends on your team. So Ollie Gordon, I still like to get. That's the same type. Ollie's moving up. He's moving up the rankings. I still like Henderson, and I like him over Bill, man. Because Nickel's going to get more carries that he had that big run. They're going to give him more carries. It's the NFL. So when you have a game, try to make sure you have some more opportunities. So I like Henderson this week. I'm not saying he's going to boom. Just talking about the lesser of the evils, right? Like, what should I do? Out of those guys that I just see, I don't know the rest of your team. I'm thinking Henderson. You think it's Henny time since Steven? Yes, I think he's going to get more opportunities. I would say at least 10 to 15 times. Why not? And if he doesn't get it, will I be shocked? No, because it's Josh McDaniels. But out of those guys, I don't see nobody who has the draft capital to make me sit Henderson. Ollie Gordon had 1 touchdown for like, what, 25, 30 yards. I don't know if I can play that every week. Yeah, I need to see another touchdown. Bill is just touchdown dependent. In the ball, I think he has more ways to get to the money than these other guys. Joy says, Kyler is the reason. Okay. Joy says, Kyler is the reason for MHJ struggles. Only 6 targets. Come on. I've been hearing it. He can't throw through the middle. He's short. I agree with most of that. But he still knows he can play the game. You just got to play the game with him different. Kenny says, Travion Henderson better. Henderson better, the guy going forward. Ramondre is horrible. Benson, some immediate start next week. IMXE, yes, depending on your team. He's a flex play, but he can't get on all teams depending on what your running backs look like. Like I got a team where I got Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, and James Cook. He can't break that lineup. He can't break that lineup. Super chat from TZG, man. He said, what up, TD? Full PPR. Trey Tucker, Luther the third. Which one will ball out more rest of the season? Luther. I'm taking Luther, bruh. Appreciate that, TZ. Wayne says Puka and JT really look like league winners. They do. Based on where they were drafted, right? And I was on Puka. Puka was one of the guys that I was on. Once I saw Matthew Stafford go down with his back, I had to get off of. So I'm not going to claim Puka this year. I'm not going to play both sides of the fence. I never told nobody not to take Puka, but I was like, no, I'm waiting to Puka in the second round because I didn't even draft Puka. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I still like Puka because I do like Puka. Y'all know I was talking about Puka a lot. But once that back injury happened to Matthew Stafford, No, I don't know about that. So I ain't claiming no Puka for my 70% hit rate. But they are really, and JT, I did not talk about no JT. So JT's somebody else hit. Hopefully he stays healthy this year. Big Will said not Chase Brown though. Yeah, I know, bro. Chase Brown, we just gotta weather the storm. B Silver, so what's going on with the Pats wide receiver? Seems like it's just an untrust. It is, bro. Drake May don't know who his number one is, so we got to find it out. So Butte is no longer a start for me. I got killed with him starting him in a few leagues, so I would tell you to hold on Butte. Hold off on playing Butte and start him every single week. And or the only guy that you can start, and he's kind of volatile too, is Hunter Henry and Drake May. Kitty says, can't sit Chase ever. Neighbors didn't do anything either. It is what it is. There you go. You can never sit these guys. I agree. I agree 100%. You can never sit these guys. Kitty says, AJ finally came through. Welcome to fantasy. And he is. What did I tell y'all about the Eagles? I'm going to see if I'm going to read this comment. Has anybody been paying attention? What did I tell y'all about the Eagles? I got another super chat from TZ. He says, take your WTD. He the only one really on Judkins this past week. And Caleb Williams fat checked me. Thank you, bro. I will. I'll take him. I'll take it. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. But what I tell y'all about the Eagles? The whole, other than Jalen Hurts, and I didn't even take Jalen Hurts. Guys, this is a championship chasing team. And I know about championship chasing teams because I watched my Cowboys for years when I was younger. And I could still process the game. I might not know all the stuff I know now, but I was young. I was like 8, 9, and I could process the game as far as like watching who they giving the ball to. And other than Emmitt Smith, because that's what we were, Michael Irvin could not be trusted on a weekly basis. Sometimes he had, 5 catches for 70 yards. And then he might have a game for 8 catches for 120 with 2 TDs. But it was like that because that was a championship chasing team. We're not trying to get nobody no stats. We're trying to win the game. So we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And so when you got Saquon, he don't care nothing about nothing other than winning. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown is the only one. He's in with the winning now, but he's like, guys, you know you paying me. So I'm okay with winning, but if you lowball, if my numbers start going down, I'm going to complain because y'all not going to pay me the same amount of money, and they get that. That's why they will have a Jobu game for AJ, and that's why AJ is a start and sit it guy. Like, you start him and you leave it alone. Like, TJ, what about A.J. Brown? Why? And I'm going to tell y'all something. You should never ask me about A.J. Brown. You should never ask me about Saquon Barkley. Now, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, yeah, these guys are they going later. But you should never ask about these guys. Any guys that you drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds, they should be just star guys. Like Chase Brown, he's just a star guy. I don't know if I'm going to ever get a better player than Chase Brown, so I'm just going to start him unless somebody comes open on the waiver wire and they getting all the workload. So it's just start A.J. Brown for the rest of the year, bro. Every single week. Every single week you got to start him. B Silver says, never had Jamar until this year. Just my luck. And that's how it is. Don't let that warp your mind. If you want to go get Jamar Chase, you go get him next year. But don't let this warp your mind. Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. He's a great player. So we're not really worried about too much stuff. But maybe you might need to see where the rhythm of that year is going. Maybe it's so much value for running backs or wide receivers, depending on how you're trying to build your team. Maybe you don't want to take a wide receiver number 1 overall. It's not that he ain't good or he can't be the number 1 overall player. It's just there's a lot of volatility to make sure that happens. Like, it's like that's volatile. What if Joe Burrow goes down? Or what if Jamar Chase goes down? Like it's a lot of stuff to happen. Or running back, he can lose his starting quarterback and he still can get 20 carries. He can still get the goal line carries. Kenny says Henry wet the bed last week. It's just another day in fantasy paradise, right? And that's how you see it. And I see it is that's another outcome raiser, another easy, simple way to play fantasy. Just sit these guys every week. Play these guys every week, and I'm gonna get my points. If you go and try to, you think you smart. Hey, TD, Budo Baker's very good at the tight ends, and he takes away the tight ends, and Arizona's not giving up any points outside of the 5-yard line because the safeties are coming in the box and they are stopping and all that. You just got to start Hunter Henry. That's all it is. Just start Hunter Henry and let him play. Now, it is some breakdown. I break down the game. But it's not gonna be so much breaking down for the yard per carry and who shuts this down. Like who would have knew that Quinshawn Judkins, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but who would have knew to play Quinshawn Judkins? The only reason why I told y'all to play Quinshawn Judkins is because it's Quinshawn Judkins, and if you have him on your team, you know he's starting. You have to play the guy. Cleveland is going to make sure that they give him the ball in the correct manner. They're not going to be tossing it to the left and right so Michael Parsons can run them down. So that's the reason. I didn't know that. Oh, Green Bay, man, look, they're gonna let them run up the middle. I didn't know. I know that's the way I would attack. Maybe that makes you come here to my fantasy football channel. But sometimes, guys, just having a guy, he got the opportunity, he's gonna get the workload. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. So same thing with Hunter Henry. Now, if you got Brock Bowers and stuff, you can't get to Hunter Henry. You shouldn't even worry about Hunter Henry. If you got Trey McBride, even guys like David Njoku. But if you streaming a tight end like TJ Hawkinson and these guys down in this lesser tier, and you play Hunter Henry 1 week and then you went off of them, never do that. Very few times I do that unless I got another trending player that's really, really high up there that I'm playing. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't say I don't never do it, but it's got to be a rhyme and a reason for me to do it. Like I got to have another trending player. Conscious Machine said I need Gibbs to score 3.4. Yeah, he doing that more than Monty and the Ravens DST. You got that, bruh. You got that, Conscious. Kenny says Lamar is almost undefeated in NFC games, right? Like, he only lost 2 games. MVM says, should I trade Brian Thomas Jr.? What can I get for him? I think you got to hold on to that boat, bruh. You're going to have to hold on to him. I don't think it's nothing really to get for him. You just going to have to hit me up, offer somebody, and if they want to take it, then hit me up with a comment question. Other than that, bro, I don't know who to tell you because nobody wants to have Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. That's the thing. It's not Brian Thomas Jr. It's like Trevor Lawrence is not hyper-targeting him and giving him efficient targets. Kenny says, I'm keeping Brian Thomas Jr. I agree. Jay Moore says, thoughts on Jackson Dart? You got to be picking him up and stashing him right now. He's a stash of the week. Not saying he's the stash of the week, but he's a stash of the week. You got to stash him because you know what's going on with Russell. Russell, last name Wilson. Kenny says Winston should start before Dart. Not the way Dart played in the thing. I get it, what you're saying. I won't mind it. But the way Dart played, they got to go to him. If he didn't play that great, then you might be right. But he played phenomenal. He probably had the best preseason of any quarterback in the whole NFL. Brian Ortega says, I'm in need of a wide receiver, TD. Trying to shop Trey Benson. Who you thinking I should aim for? Rome Odunze. I like Rome Odunze. I like Tyreek Hill. And another piece, I like Marvin Harrison Jr. and another piece. Like, you can get a 2-for-1 deal. 2 elite, not elite, but 2 players better than Trey Benson from the beginning of the season. And I don't think it's a bad idea of trading Trey Benson. I don't know what this offense is going to do. I think James Conner is the heart of this team. This team may struggle a lot now. Now, if Trey start hitting and he can score from the green zone like James, this team will be okay. Jay Morrison, would you trade MHJ and Jacory Krosky-Merritt for Rice? Yes, I would. If I need a wide receiver, yes, I would. I would consolidate and go get Rice. Yes, that's a good trade, Jay Moore. Thomas said, you like Seahawks defense versus Arizona or Hawks on Thursday night? Hawks D looking nice. They are looking nice. This is streaming defenses. I hate this because this is what I preach against. Like, you have to try to stream every week instead of playing a defense every week. It's hard to do that in today's game. With James Conner being down, I would say, yeah. I say I can see them only scoring 14 to 17 points. Joey says, I got to offer Quentin and Diggs for Brian Thomas Jr. I asked last week, I declined. Yeah, I don't think that was a bad move. You got You got Brian Thomas Jr., who is the #1 wide receiver. Quentin Johnson is a guy that's performing with the boom that y'all are trying to put in as a Marvin Harrison Jr. And this is what I would ask y'all right now. And I want to ask y'all this. Would you take, who would you take? Would you take Quentin Johnson or would you take Terry McLaurin? Now, Quentin Johnson has been outperforming Terry McLaurin. But the difference between the two is Terry's going to be on the field getting 12 targets every single week. Quentin Johnson is a boom guy waiting to get behind the defense to get his touchdown. He's touchdown dependent. So I don't want you to go to a touchdown dependent guy that's a boom bust guy for a guy that's struggling who is an alpha and they sitting around, they shaking and they mad and through the week because they got to get this guy the ball because he's the #1 pick for that team. Like, he was picked in the first round. So that's why I don't want you to get off no Quentin. I think Quentin is a sell high. I like Quentin if you want to put him in as a flex and play him, but you don't want to give up Brian Thomas Jr. That's why he offered you the trade, bro, because he won't be able to put Brian Thomas Jr. in, and when he evolves, he can put him in. Quentin going to have bad games. Lag going to have some good games. Keenan going to have some good games, right? So Quentin is not going to be a top 5 wide receiver the whole season. I don't believe so. If he does it, man, he could shock the whole world, and I'm not saying I'm above that. He could shock me, and I could be wrong. But I don't believe that. So I would rather have the Brian Thomas Jr. side because he's going to get – that's why I want to buy low on him right now. He could be better. He's going to get better as the season goes on. All right, let me see if I got another super chat that I missed out. Okay, now. Okay. Nino says, how confident are you in Benson with Connor out? I'm not that confident. I think he's going to be solid. I would give him a grade for a player coming off the waiver wire that's going to be for the rest of the season. I would give him a B. I think he can give you 10 points a game. But listen, is this possibility that he could give you 10 points with that touchdown? That will make him a top 24 running back. It's possible. I don't know if he's going to score. I think now they go away from the running game as much as they did and go and start using Marvin Harrison a little bit more, Trey McBride, and let Collar be Collar a little bit more. Got offered B-Rob and Kittle for Benson. If you need a tight end, I'm the CMC on. Okay. Yeah. Why not do that? You're getting Kittle. Now, listen, if you already got a good tight end, don't do it. But if you got a tight end like David Njoku or somebody lesser than that, then I would do it. But don't do it if you got Jalen Warren, if you got one of these already good tight ends. You need multiple tight ends. You don't need a backup for CMC. Oh, I'm scared he's gonna go down. We're not worried about that. But if it makes sense because I'm gonna get better at the tight end spot and I'm gonna get B-Rob, then that makes sense. But don't do it just to get the handcuff and you don't even need Kittle. AJ says, who can I trade for Drake London? Need another wide receiver. Who can I trade for Drake London? So you want to use Drake London to go get a wide receiver. I like Jamison Williams after tonight, but let's watch tonight's game. I think you can get Jamison Williams. I would like to get Jamison Williams in another piece. I like Rome Odunze. And those are the only two guys right now that I know I've been thinking about, I've been doing some research on. So I'm not going to try to look for anybody else, but those are the two guys that I really like. Michael White says, got Jacob Taylor. You think Hurts, Ferguson, Odunze, Shakir got Kittle on IR? You think I can win my championship with that lineup? Jacob Taylor. Okay. Hurts, Ferguson, Odunze, Shakir got Kittle on IR. I'm gonna give that team a B+. The only reason why I'm giving it less, okay, you got actually that's Ferguson from Dallas. So Shakir, yes, you can win a championship with that lineup. I'm gonna give it a B+. It's a B+ team. When Kittle come back, you definitely can win. Text Money says I'll hold London. That makes sense. But if you want to get off of him, I would try to get off of him for a guy like Rome Dunze. I'm not getting off of him for chopped liver. Jay Moore said, what's good today? I like the confidence in you have for the studs that everybody down on. Right. AJ says, okay, thank you. Anytime, AJ. Kenny says, Sam just needed 1 year with the Niners. Michael says, got Shakir, Dunze, Taylor, Jacobs hurt, Kittle, Ferguson. You can win a championship with that team. Most Def says, CD Lamb gone for 4 weeks. Yep, he broke his ankle. They saying. Jim Bush says, would you trade Ted for Drake London? No. No, I don't know what's going to happen with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. Ted is a growing guy. He's getting more targets. So keep Ted. I would keep Ted. I think Ted is going to be one of these young rookie wide receivers who's going to have a big year. As the season, he's going to get better. I would keep Ted. August says Ricky Pearsall is on fire. Yes. Yes, he's balling out. So is Jonathan Taylor, too. Mike Shamar says, TD in the house. Love you, G. 49ers, let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate you. B. Silver says, luckily I stashed Turpin Sunday morning. Hopefully he gets a lot of value with CD out. I told y'all. That's why I love when y'all pay attention to the videos. Siobhan says, good luck tonight, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alicia says, TD, you sleeping on Mason? No, I'm not sleeping on him. I know exactly what he is. And this is what I tell you. Now, listen. Is he better than James Cook? So, listen, this is what I tell y'all. I'm not here to do a breakdown of all 400 players in the NFL and know exactly what they're going to do individually. What I know is I know who the top 100 players is. So if you ain't in the top 100, I don't got time to try to break you down and get what I need out of you. Sometimes that's another person's treasure. Like Mason, I got James Cook. I got B. John. I got CMC. I got Chuba. I got a bunch of backs. And I had Mason on a few teams. And I traded them. And y'all should have these guys too. Because I told y'all all summer long. So that's why I like to look at your team. That way I can say, damn, man, well, you didn't get none of the players. You went on your own. He was like, yeah, man, I did that. And then I can address it on your own. But if you got my players, what is Mason to James Cook? What is Mason to B. John Robinson? What is Mason to Jahmyr Gibbs? Maybe what is Mason to Chase Brown? Touche. Chase Brown is not the guy. So if it comes to Chase Brown and Mason, I did miss on Mason. But Chase Brown is not really hurting me because I got so many backs. I got Alvin Kamara. Is Mason better than Alvin Kamara? It's up to be seen. It's up to be seen, right? But I don't think y'all should really need Mason. I don't want y'all relying on guys like Mason unless you win 0 RB. If you win 0 RB, you need Mason. Mason is a great back for you because he's going to be a top 12 potential guy and he can be in the top 24. But I went robust RB a lot this year, so I don't got any room on my team, and I don't want to play matchups. I'm not going to sit here and do week 1. Should I play Mason or James Cook? Because that was a question in week 1. That was a question. So I don't want those questions. I like to keep my teams consolidated where I can start everybody. So I can't get to these second-tier guys sometimes that are really good because I didn't draft that way. I front-loaded my team, and then I got a bunch of sleepers on my bench. Mike Shamrock says Boss is a big loss for San Francisco. G, who would you like in the Super Bowl? I would say Detroit and Baltimore. Got a super chat from Nino. What's up, bro? Thank you. He said send Neighbors, Benson, Pacheco for Jamar, Travion, and B-Rob. Yes, and I know you got B-Rob because you got the handcuff. I mean, that's a handcuff for you. I like the Jamar Travion side over there. You're getting Jamar Chase, who's going to get a bunch of alpha targets for you. Neighbors, you waiting on Neighbors. Like he got a lot of boom, but the quarterback situation, but this is what I would tell you. Neighbors is going to be better than Jamar if you can weather the storm until Jackson Dart comes in there. But if you can't weather the storm, then I will get off Neighbors, because he's going to have some more dud games in the next 2 to 3 weeks waiting on Jackson Dart to come in there. So the winning side right now is Jamar and Travion. What's up, Randy? What's popping, blood? What's going on with you? I don't claim no set, bro. I don't claim no set. I'm from Saxon Hall. I'm a country boy. Okay, here go Lisa talking about he better than Chuba. I'm not doing that with you today, Lisa. You can have it. You're exactly right. He is better than Chuba. You're right. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. You're not gonna be able to bait me in. I'm learning. I'm always learning. I'm not the same guy when I first started my channel. I'll argue with a snail. I'm not doing that now. And Lisa's just trying to give me a hard time. She know how to get me going. She loved the attention. Nah, you ain't get me today. Brian Robinson is a sleeper for the Niners. Yeah, man, we know CMC could go down at any time. Don't get nervous now because of people going down. Don't get nervous. Scary money don't make no money. Michael White says, Hurts, Adunze, Shakir, Taylor, Jacobs, Kittle, Fergus, that lineup get me. Yes, that lineup can get you to the playoffs, bro. J-Mo says, bench Hampton in favor of Franklin. Cost me this week 1 and 2. Looking forward for week 4. That's the mindset you got to have. Now, Hampton is like, why would you want to play Hampton? You didn't know that injury was going to happen. Sometimes it takes a bad, let's call it a bad start to get to the great start. So now you know Hampton's in your lineup every single week now. You ain't never got to worry about that problem. It's just like being in a relationship. And I done had to learn about this, and I'm not going to get too much of my business, but sometimes subtraction can be addition. Sometimes you can be getting better by taking away. So by Najee going down, now your starts and sits are easier, and I bet you become a better fantasy team because you know how to start. It's easy to make your start and sits decisions. That's what it's about. So now Franklin is never going to go back into my lineup unless I need a flex play type wide receiver. He's not consistent like that. So that's my 2 cents on that. J Moore says bench Hampton in fact. Okay, yes, we got that one. Alan says Jamar or Nico. We're going with Jamar all day, rest of the season. Jamar all day. You got to. It's Jamar. Now, I'm not going off the name, but it's Jamar Chase. Like, I don't want to overthink that. But if you try to make a trade decision, that's what I would say. I would stick with Nico. I wouldn't want no part of the Jamar situation. I would want the team that got the better quarterback. But if you got them both on your team, then you got to start Jamar. But don't go switch out Nico for Jamar just because you can get Jamar. That is a problem over there. We don't want that problem. That's why we didn't draft Jamar here on Fantasy Good Sports. Jay Moore says, is likely matchup proof. Yes, everybody's matchup proof when you play with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I said what I said. Everybody is matchup proof when you play with Josh Allen and Lamar because you can't stop those force multipliers there. So Horace Grant in Orlando was an average player, but in Chicago, he was an all-star. You see what I'm saying? Because he had Michael Jordan on his team. So the same thing with Likely. Likely, and I believe he's going to be special himself, but Likely is going to be great playing with Lamar. Nobody's shutting Likely down because you got to worry about Lamar and Derrick Henry. Got another super chat in the building from TZG, man. He says, what running back trade value would you give for JSN, Bijan, Walker, Trey Henderson? Value would you give for trade value would you give for JSN? Okay, so I'm willing to give up a Saquon Barkley to get a JSN and another piece. So when it's these front load running backs, he's playing really well. B. John, I'm not trading no running back for B. John. That's a lateral move. Now, if I could, now let me tell you a down move that I would make. I would give up B. John to go get James Cook in another piece. James Cook is almost going to be the same player as a B. John and a Jahmyr Gibbs. He's on the level now. So JSN, what the level I would go for him? I wouldn't do it for a Jahmyr B. John or a James Cook. I wouldn't do it. Would I do it for Chuba Hubbard? Yeah, but we know that ain't happening. Alvin Kamara, yeah. Trey Benson, yeah. Ashton Genty, yes, I would do it for Ashton Genty. I think you can get a JSN maybe for an Ashton Genty. He's a rookie running back. People love rookie running backs. Amari Hampton, yes, I would give up Amari Hampton for a JSN. JSN is getting all those targets every single week. Walker, Trey Hendo, Junkins, it would take a B. John, Jahmyr, or James Cook. No Chuba. Benson, I'm not even trying to acquire him through any running back value. Hendo. It's a lot of guys that you can get. Like, would I go down from Chuba to Hendo? Maybe, depending if I didn't need Chuba. If Chuba was a flex play and I wanted to get a 2-for-1, yes, I would buy Chuba Hubbard. I would take Chuba Hubbard and get a Hendo in another piece. I think that's what you're asking me, bro. But if you're not, put it down in the super chat. I mean, not the super chat. Put it down in the comment section, and I'm going to keep looking down there and see if you add something onto it. But it's kind of confusion. A lot of confusion with that question. I know you do, Elisa. And guess what? You ain't get me today. I'm learning. Elisa. I trust me. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me. You know how to listen. You've been watching me a long time. Lisa know what to say. All you got to do is say something about my player and make a kind of untrue statement or maybe something debatable. But I would like to hear you, Lisa. What do you know about? What did you got to say about Daniel Jones? Because I think you fried me a couple years ago about Daniel Jones and your son. Y'all fried me about Daniel Jones. And listen, I can't even keep my mouth shut. Here I go already. I still did it anyway. You baited me in. You won. All right, guys. Well, I'm on 70 minutes now, so I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna be able to get to all the questions. I gotta get ready for tonight's game. So I'm not gonna get it ready. So I'm gonna go, let's say I'm gonna go for like 15 more minutes and I'm gonna kind of speed through the questions. That way I can try to get to as many as possible. But I'm gonna try to make sure I get to all the members first. Let's see here. Jay Moore said, should I leave Sharp on waivers for other league mates? No, it just depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you need. If you got room on your team, Sharp is a handcuff. Kenneth Walker goes down, Sharp gonna eat. So you want to have Sharp should never be left on the waivers. But try to get him, but make sure you address your team needs first before you get them. Jay Wolf says TD channel is booming. Yes, sir. You know it. Yes, sir. Horton, yes. Horton. He had that one catch and he had the kickoff return. He's a stash. I'm gonna talk about him tomorrow. Noberto said, what's up, bro? Is Evan Ingram droppable? Yes, he's big time droppable. Drop him yesterday. A-Gang Grizzle said, hey, TD, would you drop Shaheed for Alec Maynor or Trey Tucker? I would do it for Alec Maynor. I love Shaheed, but Alec Maynor, that's touchdown upside, he's going to get more targets. He's going to beat out Calvin Ridley. It's close, man. I really like Shaheed, but I think, let's just say Cam Ward is better than Spencer Rattler, even though it's not showing right now. Yeah, Thomas, Troy Horton did also score a touchdown, but it was mainly, what to me makes him look very valuable and make him look explosive was the kickoff return. Father 3 says, preach. If you don't wake up early on waivers, you missing out big time. Big facts. Sorry about that, Thomas. I remember the receiving, but I'm forgetting the question. I'm working the waivers at 12 o'clock a.m. Yes, whenever the waivers is over. Yes. Soon they turn green bean. You got to do it. Cooper Kupp is a bum. Horton should be wide receiver too. Got to give it time to happen. You probably are right. I thought Cooper Kupp, he had that one good week, and then JSN had that stomach bug, and that stomach bug did not matter to JSN. So next time I will kind of make a better decision off that, but I don't like playing players when it's close, and I don't trust the quarterback. But I got to trust Sam Darnold. He's almost went good for a whole quadrant. It's a different day and a different time this week. So I have to knock down a couple players that I had high. So I stand corrected, Kenny, on far as telling y'all to play Cooper Kupp last week. It looks like it's, but I wouldn't play Horton immediately. Roberto says, bruh, Fannin or Strange rest of the season? I'm going with Strange over Fannin. Green Bay is fine. That's just Cleveland. Mike says, pimp on. He got all the ladies. I try to. Tron says, what up, TD? What up, Tron? He said CMC is winning leagues, putting up 24 points without scoring a touchdown. Guys, if it's right now, and I asked my boy RG this the other day, I said, how many weeks you need CMC to give you before you be happy? He said 8-9 weeks. I'm like, after to next week, I'm good. I'm 4-1. I'm 3-1 in my league. Sometimes you just got to rent a player for a little bit of time. It's a rental. Yes, sir, Tron. Tron says, put in a waiver claim on the Vikings defense last week after someone dropped in my week, 30.40 points. Yes, sir. Kenny says, Danny Dimes is pulling a Jimmy G. Hey, listen, Danny Dimes is leading MVP candidate. I said what he said. He's a leading MVP candidate and comeback player of the year. He's going to get one or the other. If he don't get the MVP, he's going to get comeback player of the year. Sports Dog says, TD100, my mistake. I saw it was Terry McLaurin that he got a quad injury. Any idea on his status? No, just going to have to wait it out. He'll be fine. When him and Jaden Daniels get back, it's going to be good. So Terry McLaurin is a buy low. I'm about to go down and tell people to start buying low on Terry. Jay Moore says, Bengals is actually 2-1 despite their offensive struggles. Facts, big facts. Jose Hernandez says, trade Pickens or Thomas Jr. For Thomas Jr., no. I wouldn't do that. Tron says, would you drop Troy Franklin for Trey Tucker or Tyquan Thornton? If you drop Troy Franklin, you getting Tyquan Thornton for 2 weeks before Rashid Rice comes back. So if you need a wide receiver to play for 2 weeks, then go make the move. If you need a wide receiver for long-term upside throughout the season, I would stay with Troy Franklin. Kenny says, Junkins, yes, sir. Craig says, what up, TD? Any player props you like tonight? Hey, you see what I did last week? Yes, I do. I like Jamison Williams, anytime touchdown. I like Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown, right? Duh. And I like Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown. Those are the three I'm willing to put in a parlay, and I'm going to put them down individually. Jay Moore said, definitely hard to bench Chase Brown, but Harrison is too volatile. I get it. And there's a lot of good wide receivers. But to me, if I drafted you in that type of tier, in that type of round, I'm not dropping you. Frizz, what up, bruh? Don says T-Law has ruined Brian Thomas Jr. He's trying to. Frizz says drop Keon Coleman for Trey Tucker. No, don't do that. Slick Rich says Brian Thomas Jr. is scared of those hospital balls that T-Law be throwing. Look, Slick Rick know his stuff. Paola says, what's up, bruh? Should I trade Nico for Brian Thomas Jr. and Breach? No. I wouldn't do that. Marcus says TD was 100% right on Junkins. What about stashing Spears? I have Pollard. Yes, I always stash a guy like a Spears who has standalone value, not just a handcuff. I would stash Spears. They need a Spears probably to help Cam Ward out. Kenny says, yep, it was like in college when T. Higgins was balling Trevor out. Right. Trevor needs a 6'8" wide receiver. Facts. Slick Rick said, ain't nobody giving up anything for London. He's an overhyped fantasy player with a few good games. I agree. MVM says, should I trade Brian Thomas Jr. and Woody for Justin Jefferson? Yes. Yes. Kale says, would you trade Chase Brown for Jordan Mason? Yes, I would. Ed Tate says, I have David Njoku. You think I should go Hunter Henry? Yes. I think you need to pick up Hunter Henry. and then we'll reevaluate as the start comes closer. But you need, and Njoku needs somebody to push him, and Hunter Henry is an okay guy to pick him up and try to see if you can push him to see who's going to be better for your team. Elisa says he's better than True. Eric Snyder says players who haven't erupted yet but should soon. Right. Players who haven't erupted yet and should soon. You know what? I'm gonna do that for a video. Hey, Eric Snyder or any of you guys, can y'all go to another video and put that on there? Put that title: players who haven't erupted yet but should soon. That is a great fantasy football title video. Please put that somewhere, bro, so I can remember. I don't have a pen with me, and I cannot find it. So please, somebody put that in my comments on another video. Eric Snyder also says top trade targets that are buy lows. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. That Fantasy Network says trying to trade Swift for Brian Thomas Jr. You approve? It depends on your team, bro. If DeAndre Swift is a flex play and you got other, he's just a flex play running back that you got, and you can move up and get Brian Thomas Jr., who you can end up playing at that flex play spot with his type of talent, yes, I get that. I approve if that's your scenario. But just to do it, no. But if that's the scenario where Swift is not really a RB2 on your team or RB1, he's a flex play, I would do it. Kenny says, we need Travis Hunter to be a great cornerback, great wide receiver, not mid at both. It's Trevor Lawrence. Elisa says, Danny Dimes is the next Baker Mayfield story. Somebody said he sucked, though. Somebody said he sucked. Deal Devoted said, Titty, you a fool, man. Keep dropping gems. That real talk. You know it, bro. Saad Muhammad said, best fantasy show for real. Thank you, bro. Jay Moore says, man, I forgot to mention Golden. I will be starting him against Dallas next week. Yes, he got those 3 catches, too. Seahawks just signed Khalil Herbert to the practice squad. To the practice squad. That's just he's a jag. That's what I was trying to say, and I kept. He's a jag. Yo, Saquon for Nico and Travis Etienne. Saquon. No, I wouldn't give up Saquon. I like Saquon for Nico and another piece, not Travis Etienne. The JS owner is very weak at running back, and I have these running backs, Walker, Hendo, Benson, and Judkins to offer for JSN if possible. Yes. I would offer Walker for Judkins. I would give up Walker and try to get Judkins. No, I didn't own Daniel Jones. Maybe my son. Okay. Khalid says, hey, I need a running back since Carter got hurt. Should I trade CMC for Benson and Chase Brown? No, we're not trading no CMC. Benson to the moon. He's going to be solid. He's a top 30 RB, I feel like. I don't think he's going to be giving you 20 points every week. Senor says, I dropped Burton for Likely last week. Yeah, I get that. It's nothing. Hey, try to go get him, pick him back up for somebody. I want you to keep Likely, but if you got a good tight end, then you can drop Likely. It's all dependent on your squad. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of here. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody's single comment, but I got to get ready for tonight's game. Thank y'all for super chatting. If your question did not get answered, put it in the comment section, and I will get to it before Tuesday waiver video drop. So put your questions, whatever your questions didn't get answered, put it in the comment section, and I get to everybody's question before I drop my detailed waiver wire video. All right, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.